Hi, I'm Greta Oliver. Welcome to the EducateU podcast, your roadmap to learning tips, techniques, and strategies to enable your student to successfully navigate the road to and through higher education. Hello, everyone. Today's guest on the Staying the Course segment of EducateU is Kelvin Weathers. Kelvin Weathers is a gifted, devoted, empowering life coach and educational consultant at Weathers Enterprise. He also serves as a mentor. He has spoken to youth, young adults, and other diverse audiences for the past 17 years, and also is a volunteer in the Houston Independent School District. He is a first-generation college student and earned the associate degree at Houston Community College and his bachelor's degree at Texas Southern University. Today, he will be sharing words of wisdom with our audience about staying the course in college and giving tips to students as to how to continue moving forward toward their goal of an educational degree, step by step, semester by semester. Please join me in welcoming Kelvin Weathers to EducateU.
Thank you, Dr. Oliver, for being a part of your platform, and thank you for your work that you've been doing for over 25 years in the educational arena. And just thank you for all that you do, and I appreciate just being able to share with your great audience.
You are certainly welcome. I'm honored to have you on my platform today. And let's just talk a little bit about what you can say to students that can help them to be able to just stay the course. Mm-hmm. Because we've talked so much on EducateU about getting to college. We've gone through the college search. We found a school that fits. We're on campus. We're, having different relationships built on campus to help us be successful. And that can be, that's something within itself. That's a great accomplishment within itself. Mm-hmm. But we need to be able to speak into students' lives as to how they can continue, how they can press on, how they can, whatever they need to do to muster up, whatever they need to muster up to keep going and to complete their degree. And so let's just start with maybe first year students. What kind of things would you say to first year students to try to help them to be able to understand, that they need to maybe motivate themselves or get help or whatever they need to do to be able to persist in higher education?
Dr. Oliver, that's an excellent question. And, even going back, when you think about, first year students, a lot of times, because when I interact with the high school students at the mentor program, like a lot of times, they're thinking about fun, they're thinking about partying, they're thinking about just getting, maybe it's they're away from home for the first time, they're just out. And so I think a support system, there needs to be I would say, basically, have fun, but realize though that you're there to accomplish, keep that in the back of their minds, that they have goals and they have aspirations that they're wanting to accomplish, and that when your first year, it's not going to be a piece of cake. It's not going to be easy. It depends on the student. Some students, they may think it's easy. Some students may, my nephew, he's going to Prairie View, and he's like, he's doing well at Prairie View right now. His grades, he's doing well, but some students, they may not be as because what I would suggest to first year students, basically have fun, but focus and get a support system, have a support system. So find a support system on campus. If you don't have it in family, if you're in an organization, if it's a counselor, if it's someone, in a trio or someone in some kind of organization that can help guide you and help keep you on track. I don't want to say hold you accountable too early. Maybe that may be, but kind of keep them on track. So I would say have a support system, have some people around that want the best for you. And it may take time to kind of assess who that may be, maybe, but just if you have and then if the friends that they have coming into college, make sure that those are people that have the same kind of goals or same kind of dreams that they have. I would say that's some of the things. I mean, it's a long, it's a long, but I don't want to belabor it. I would just say that in a sense.
Okay. Well, that's good. I think that's great. For them to be new students on campus, they need to find a support system, and that starts with one person at a time.
Yeah.
And so find someone, if you don't have family in, nearby where you're staying on campus, then find someone that you can talk to, and then build up and find someone else, to meet whatever needs you have.
Yeah.
I do agree that maybe you don't want to put a lot of pressure on students, but in everybody's mind that is in college, they really do need to understand that they are there for a reason. And I think that first year is a little bit maybe overwhelming in a way, because as you said, they come and they are basically free.
Yeah, they're free as a bird. They're thinking I'm free. I don't have
free indeed, right? Some of them are free for the first time ever, not having someone monitor anything that they're doing. And, that can go either way. Now, maybe they can, hopefully they will find what they need to do to be able to at least realize why they're there, and they won't go completely off the rails. But in the event that they are the type of student that just, takes advantage of all the freedom and doesn't really remember why they're there, that could be really, really disastrous. So it is really important for them to find people on campus that they do have to be accountable to.
That's why they need your book. That's why they need.
Exactly.
That's why they need. That's what they need. And it's just not a shameless plug, but they need tools, and they need books. If they need something to kind of help to keep in the forefront of their mind, what they were there for, because when the challenges come, and they will come, it's easy to want to, to drop out. It's easy to want to just, if it's like, oh, well, I don't want to use the sports, but I use the sports. So sometimes it can come easy. And if you have good grades or great grades in high school or middle school, and then when you get to college, and you don't have a good semester starting out, it can be deflating, and you can feel like, I'm not cut out for this. So.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna piggyback my first question with another one, and I'm specifically thinking about what you just said about maybe them having a poor semester and then kind of getting, off course a little bit. What kind of specific advocates, like who should they go to, and when should they go to that person? Like, who should they find on that campus to help them?
They should find, it could be, someone, a counselor, could be professor, if they can. Well, I don't. It could be someone works in the different if they're first generation trio or educational talent search, or it could, but they have or it could be some of the student organizations, if they the Greek life organizations, or the other volunteer organizations, other campus organizations that are on campus. Someone, maybe a campus. It could be a religious leader or spiritual. Could be someone that outside of, or just could be, that could be somebody that they can look to kind of help them, to kind of empower them along their journey. So there are different people, as there are different people that they can, different types of individuals they can reach out to.
Okay, it just depends on whatever they're facing, I guess.
It could be like a
academic.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that, whatever they're facing can kind of drive whatever their determination is of who they need to find the support with.
Yeah.
Like if it is academic, find an academic advisor or something like that, like that might be more, easier for them to understand like where to go, especially if they're new and they don't really know where to go. And so
academic advisor would be perfect. Or if it's social, there may be counselor. There may be people who deal with something emotional or social that they're dealing with also. But academic advisor, like you say, definitely would definitely be somebody they need to go to.
Okay, so it really is just bottom line important that they know that these people are on campus and that they are available for them to receive help from. And so that's the biggest takeaway really that I want everybody to get from today as far as advocates are concerned, because we've been talking about advocates week in and week out on EducateU. And it's so important that people realize that they do have help. There are people there that can help you with the things that you're going through, even if it's psychological. They have psychological counseling. If it's health related, they have a health center, or if they don't have it on campus, they have a relationship with something that's nearby campus. So there's always help to be had. And so let's jump back into our other question, our initial question, where I said, what kind of advice would you have for first year students? What kind of words or advice would you have for students who are in maybe the middle? Maybe they're like just beginning like their junior year. Okay. What kind of advice would you have for them as far as what they need to do to be able to still stay on campus, still stay in the fight, still move forward toward their degree attainment?
I would say that they definitely, that's a great question. I would say that they need go revisit revisit what they set out. I mean, if they set out goals, if they set out a purpose statement, if they set out a vision, revisit those things. Look back at that. Look back at what they intended to accomplish. So I would say that would be, if you're a junior, you've kind of you've gotten past first year to second year, now you're in your third year. Start maybe planning, not, looking ahead to what, if it's graduate school, you're looking ahead to what your further, because I tend to think that when you plan, when you start thinking about what you're going to have further down the road and some of your further dreams and further, that can kind of help you as a junior. So start planning and thinking about what you want to accomplish after, if you want to graduate, if they want to graduate and then, intern, or then, or they've already probably intern, but then work, or then, going to the grad program, whatever it may be, kind of start thinking ahead, dreaming ahead for further down the road, I think would be helpful.
I think that's really helpful, actually. What I was going to say, and I didn't want to cut you off, but I'm kind of like someone who likes to see things like written out. And so, if somebody's like a planner and they've already written out goals, it really was just so gratifying for me to actually look back on the courses that I had to take, like the overall bulk of them, for the entire 4 years, and then kind of see what I checked off, what I took, where I have progressed from one class to the next, and then see, like, it's almost like a check off list that you're looking at all the time, that just for just to give you the will to know, I did this. I completed 20 courses and I have 20 more to go. I just made that number up because I don't really know what the number was, but I've completed half of my coursework and I only have these to go. And to see the completed courses, like with a check mark and my little grade that was, sufficient for me to be able to go forward, it just makes you feel like you've actually accomplished something. And so I think, some people could use that to help them, because I like to see progress, because it's always easy to kind of see, okay, I got 4 years or more of college, but what have you achieved? How have you moved forward in cutting those courses down and beginning to reach your goal. And I think that really, really is key. I think it helps.
Can I add just one thing? You brought to my mind about it, like you said, you like to see. When you have a junior and they've achieved, and and sometimes if they're minority students, so that they've had a lot of negative, they've had a lot of they've had a lot of programming that they couldn't accomplish, and when they've seen now, and they look back and see, okay, I've gotten this, I've made the dean's list one semester, I've gotten this, I've gotten these courses, so now I've got, if I had to get 120 hours, semester hours, I've got 80. If I had 168, I've gotten. So when it may be at the end, when it might be the most difficult to remember that they've already gotten this far, that I can keep going, that I can keep on. Some would say, in their grad school, like they're at the end of grad school and they're about to accomplish, like, this is my most frustrating. I'm at the end, and sometimes it can be like that. But when you think back to what they've already accomplished, then they can just keep, like, I know I can do this. And it's getting a little sticky now, and I'm getting a lot of tests. I got a lot of stuff on me. I'm working. I'm doing this. I don't have much money. We have this in my speaking. Sometimes I'd say this expression. Somebody said, "I take it away. My money is funny, and my change is strange."
Right.
For college students, they're probably that's always the case. But but they can see, like, and they can visualize and see, okay, I've gotten this far. I've gotten this many hours, and they look back and say, okay, I'm gonna keep on.
Right. And I know when I was working at Ohio University, they had DARS. It was a degree accounting or audit report that really was somewhat like a transcript, but it was given out. You could request those as you were going, and so it would show like what courses you had to take. All on one sheet of paper. It would show what you took and the grade you got in that, what was coming up, and what, so you had all of it right in front of you. You didn't have to actually recreate it anywhere. And so that was really easy. If you can have something like that from, your registrar's office to kind of get that form with the courses that are tied to your specific major or minor, everything that has to be taken. You fill in the electives because some of those can be different for, students. And so then you could just see every single thing in one glance and just get that as you're progressing through. And that is just so useful. Just like you said, it's good to see like where you're going, because if you have a goal, of course, you're trying to, meet the goal of required semester hours or whatever goals you're trying to meet. And if you can see that you're actually meeting them, that goes a long way in helping you to stay motivated to get to the very end, especially if you're all the way to the junior year. You have been doing something to be able to hang on that long. So you need to be able to, get the courage really to go on. Go on.
Yes, definitely. Excellent. Yeah, definitely.
So I really like that idea, because I think, as far as goal setting and things like that, a lot of people, they don't go through the actual goal setting, but they set it maybe in their minds. This is something I want to do. But it might be a good idea to actually do some goal setting at some point, to say, this is what I want to accomplish in the short term. This is what I want to accomplish by, 2 years from now. This is what I want to accomplish 4 years from now, and knowing that those things can change, because, you might get in school and start a plan of a program and then just decide that's not for you. Sometimes you don't know that until after you get a couple of bad grades and can't figure it out.
I was thinking,
Right. So, that's good. You can change goals. They can be rewritten. They can be rethought out, whatever, revamped, revised, revisited, all of that. And so that's good to know too, that nothing is really written in stone, and it's not over until it's over.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So so we know what we want first year students to do. We want them to find their support systems.
Find their support system, find their
Mhm.
those people that are going to advocate, those people that's going to, cheer them, that's going to point them in
Yes.
the direction. Have fun, enjoy, but also remember, we got goals and I've got a degree to attain. I've got a graduate degree. I've got,
Absolutely.
I want to be I want to be a whatever I may be. I want that to be, I want to keep
Mhm.
pushing for that. So find the people
Right.
that
Right. And then the upper class students, then maybe we will have like just an audit of where we are, as far as our goals are concerned, the courses we've taken, what we have to do to move forward, and kind of look at that as like something to propel us to get to the end because we've been able to complete the beginning. And so that's very good. That's a good strategy to have. And so do you have any other tips or best practices or anything like that that you feel you just need to tell students to just make them understand that they can do this?
Well, yeah, and I was reading something I saw it online actually. It was saying that focus on your skills, not just your grades. That the discipline the discipline of being in college, the what you're learning, and you're developing. So it's not just
Right.
you want to, you want to get all A's, you want to, get the best grades, you want to accomplish those, but focus on your skills. I would say focus on the skills and what you're learning and how you're applying it, and when it's invaluable, all of the what you're learning, and the association and the people that you run across. So I would just say that, not just look at, okay, I had one semester, I had a 2.0 this semester, or I had C's or D's, and I didn't get a 3.3. I didn't, get the D's. I didn't have the honor roll. But focus on your skills, and I
Right.
think
The skills that were
your grades
developed.
will follow.
You know what? That is such good advice. I had not even heard that before. I'm going to steal that and put it in a new edition of my book. I'm just letting you know now. I will give you credit for it, but that is so important because I think a lot of people don't think about that because they're
Well, I
so
saw it. Yeah, it's
worried.
not original. It's not an original.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I love it. It is so key because you know what? When you get out of school and you're going for a job, sometimes it's like they ask you right out what they want to know what skills you can bring, not what you learned in econ class, but what did you learn? What skills have you developed from being in school from A to Z?
So that's a
And
great.
so
That can.
that's important because you need to be able to verbalize that. And when somebody asks you that, if you haven't done your preparation for your interview, which we hope everybody would do, but if you haven't thought of that question, it's something that you should know anyway, even if you're not using it in an interview situation. You need to know what skills you bring, what skills have you developed, and what your level of proficiency in each one of those skills would be. So you can articulate that and show that you can bring value to wherever you're trying to go. And so that's so important, because I know that kind of throws people for a loop. It's like, and throws people for a loop. That's something my mom used to say. So forgive me. But anyway, it's like, okay,
great advice. It was wonderful.
You haven't thought about that really. You thought, okay, I have an overall 4.0, and that's a wonderful, wonderful grade point average actually to have coming out of college. I certainly have it, but that's a whole nother story. But you're thinking about the overall, your cumulative grade point average, what you came out with, and whether you graduated with high honors or whatever, just basically made it through whatever, but you haven't given much thought to what skills you were able to develop while you were in the midst of getting your degree. That I got to go think about that myself.
It blew my mind. It blew my mind when I read it, but I hadn't thought about it because it was something. It's this group on Facebook. They call it Empowering First Generation. It's a Facebook group. I think you maybe, but they've got one of the gentlemen in the group, he had this series where he asked different people to help first generation students. So he had like a panel forum. So I was a part.
Right.
It was YouTube. It was two other gentlemen. I think one guy. But it was talking about some of those things like interview and how to negotiate, how to network.
Right.
And
Right.
so some of the things is not just when college, when you go to college and you want to excel, and but also some of those things that you want to learn, like how you're able to advocate for yourself and network and marketing and
Yes.
branding
Yes.
and those and interview and so if you have the best grade point average but you're not skilled at being able to interview or able to
Right.
articulate the value you bring, if you then that's you kind of miss something. So that's one
Right.
of the things
Absolutely.
I would say is that focus on skills that you're gaining. You want the best grade. I'm not diminishing or lowering about excellence and not getting the best grades, but I'm saying focus,
Right.
skills.
I know exactly what you mean. And so we want both.
Yeah.
We want to be great.
Yeah, exactly.
We want you to do the best you can. Put forth your effort in your class as far as academics are concerned. Also to, just be present in what you're going through.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we kind of just live, but we're not really present. We just
that's a word.
Going through the motions.
Yes.
Just day to day, but trying to actually understand what you are learning, what skills you're developing, what is being perfected in you. Those kind of things are so key and so important because that's life. That's living.
Exactly.
So there's a difference between getting a degree and going to college and getting through the 4 years, but we want you to experience life as well, through this. We want you to be present in your education. We want you to be present in your own life and find out what it is.
You're dropping the mic.
Hey, I'm trying to help somebody else. I'm helping myself though, because some of the stuff I need to be saying to myself in all honesty. I'm not telling anybody anything that is not important in my own life. I am truly trying to help somebody. And then the whole premise of EducateU, the book, and this podcast is so people don't have to continue to reinvent the wheel when I've been through it. I've seen it all. I have seen it all. I've probably done most of it. Lord help us. And I'm trying to help somebody able to make it. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on and giving us your words of wisdom. You gave us some really key advice, and I really, really love that skill thing. Your development of skills and understanding what it is that you are actually learning and just making a part of who you are. What you can bring to the table, what you have to offer. A lot of that is in the skill development, and this is something that we don't often talk about, but it's very, very important. So thank you so much for joining me and helping the students to move forward one class at a time.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Al. Thank you for the work you're doing, and keep up the great work, and many lives are being impacted by your work, and even more will be impacted. We get the word out and people know what you're doing, but it's definitely, and we're definitely in this time, pandemic and all, they definitely need a roadmap. So appreciate what you're doing. And thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. And for everything that you're doing as well. Thank you for joining us today on EducateU. If you wish, you can send me your questions or comments about the college going process or the podcast contents by sending an email to Dr. Greta at gretaoliverconsulting.com. Also, beginning each week after the podcast airs, check for a companion blog on my website's blog page at gretaoliverconsulting.com. My book, College Roadmap, Essential Tips for First-Time College Students and Their Families, is available for sale on Amazon.com. Join us next week for another tip or strategy to make the road to higher education easier for your student.